Give me a sec. It's doing that thing again.
Go up, Jen. J.G. Kingsley. Long one. All right, let's do it. Bunch of fruit flies chilling. All right. Hey, Brent, I want to say thoroughly enjoy how engaged you have been with your fan base for the last couple of years. Thanks, man. I decided to run my own shit now, not have scumbags do it. I love all the new stuff you're doing, watching you pivot and evolve, show, especially including your fans and conversation. Keep it up, man. All the great stuff. Love to see you succeed, big dog. Thanks, dude. Since you probably give your own take on Gable Stevens' signing by the time you get to this question, facts, I'll ask a different one. If you were put in position where you could influence the success and growth of UFC, how would you do it? I feel like they need to put some focus on certain divisions that have thinned out, heavyweight being the perfect example of that. Maybe they put together Ultimate Fighter show or something similar with all heavyweights or with similar divisions that need help and have it on CBS so it's more accessible to the general public to suck them in, heavy on the suck, and give them engaged, get them engaged like back in the day. Couldn't agree more. Like they announce Ultimate Fighter and it's not heavyweights.
What division is it? Do you know?
Look it up, Chen. But yeah, DC and Bisbing as the coaches, which I don't mind, but do a division we fucking need. I want to say it's lightweight again.
Bantamweight?
So it's prospects at bantamweight and 115. Listen, if you want to get people really not to give a fuck, do lighter weight classes. It's literally, and this is where my criticism comes in. Literally put in effort. Nobody gives a fuck. Put some sort of effort in. Light heavyweight, heavyweight. Bring back the Ultimate Fighter. Make the Ultimate Fighter what it was. Talking about Ultimate Fighter alum here. They used to put so much effort and they actually gave a fuck. Find the best prospects from KSW, from Cage Warrior, from fucking all these leagues around and get a heavyweight contender and you put some life in the heavyweight division or light heavyweight. But bantamweight, strawweight, who gives a flying fuck? Nobody. Nobody cares.
It's like when you remake a movie and you make the main character a girl or gay, you're like, wait, why?
Well, why?
What are we
Why would you
doing?
do that?
What are we doing?
What are you doing? Nobody's going to watch it now. Yep. I agree, dude. What else you got, Jed?
Let me go back.
Nathan Van Nest. Love the show, brother. I'm sure you're getting bombed with Hokit questions, but do you feel Hokit somewhat knew he could beat Curtis Blades
Bait.
with some, do you feel like Hokit somewhat knew he could bait Curtis with some of the goofy, wobbly stance in order to land some of those bombs landed? 100%. Of course, he was tired as fuck, but it seems to know he could absorb some of Blade's shots in order to get there and bang. I'll see a no-go with Lewis. Also, do you think there could be any more late ads to the White House card? Appreciate the content, big homie.
A lot of room.
Yeah, I think it's more of a time constraint thing in the availability of the White House. That's why there was only originally 7 fights, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's just that.
Yeah, it's hard to add more.
Yeah, I think the White House is like, nah, bitch, you ain't doing 15.
Yeah.
I think Derek Lewis and Dana was like, it's going to be quick, too. And he's like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah. There's got to be a time limit that they have. And if you add more fights, I'm sure it's already a logistical nightmare already.
I wonder who started the all title fights thing. Was it just Trump? Or
It was just Trump,
Dana
not knowing the UFC. Just Trump. Ugly 4983. Can I get my grandson into wrestling at 3 years old? Las Vegas resident. You can. My son at 5 started wrestling, and it's good, even in jiu-jitsu, and even he plays like football. It's just, it depends where you take him if it's gonna be beneficial. Because a lot of other parents whose kids are 3, 4, 5, and 6, it's basically daycare. So the kids are playing games and shit and like running around. So if you find a good gym, it's worth it for a 3-year-old, even though it's super young. I think it's too young really to get started in organized sports. I wouldn't start him till like 6.
Yeah, 3 is like.
But again, it depends on the coaching and the gym.
There's some youth leagues that teach just the bare minimum basics, which I think is great for even just their coordination at that age. So
yeah, for Basti, it was like the biggest gain for him was one-on-one competition, getting used to that pressure. They just put him in there, and he would do some stuff wrong, some stuff right, but it was that one-on-one competition, everybody watching, and he started to thrive in it.
There's
and then other sports started to pay off.
There's like drilling too, where they're like, just like the knee slide, takedown, knee slide, takedown. Like nothing crazy. You don't learn high crotch, but like they're just learning the basics and just how to be competitive. I think it's good.
Tyler Sauce Do 5. Would you ever grapple my former coach Chael Sonnen himself? Absolutely. Yeah. Chael don't want none. I love Chael. Chael don't want none.
No?
No.
Did you see him? No. He let the Iowa Hawkeyes all try and gut wrench him, and no current wrestler was able to gut wrench him. No.
What's a gut wrench?
So it's like in freestyle where you like lock up on the body, then you like pick up and throw. Like they couldn't even get his hips off the mat.
So they couldn't.
He has great hips. Yeah,
No.
Chael has great hips. I would do a match against Chael, and I love Chael. Chael knows this, but Chael don't want none. Suckas Libert.
I guess so.
Hear me out. Hokit drops the act completely and the acts like
Brendan Schaub trashed Mark Harley. Wow, he answered that question and said, do it myself. No longer have the scumbags working for me. Did he just admit that Mark Harley did everything, by the way? I'm wondering if Mark Harley can use that in his next court thing. But, so he does that, and then he says, Chael Sonnen don't want none. Someone brought up a great point. I forget whether it was in the comment section or on the Fighter and the Kid subreddit. Brendan Schaub was never a great fighter. He wasn't athletic. He couldn't do any of that. He got lucky a couple of times with hitting someone with a good punch. That was it. And at the time he was doing it, the sport never really even evolved to what it is today. Brendan Schaub would stand no chance against anyone in any way, shape, or form. People keep forgetting Schaub wasn't really that good. And since then, he lost a foot race and had to pretend he blew out his hamstrings and stuff like that. So, I don't know if you could take Chael Sonnen, but, Bappa has just always relied on the fact that he's big. But that doesn't mean anything. He showed up on football fields just like I'm big, but he was slow, so he never made it in football or any other sport. The only thing he could make it in, was fighting. And by the way, he was so bad at it, in his prime, Joe Rogan had to talk him into retirement. In his prime. That's how bad Brendan Schaub was at fighting. That in his prime, Joe Rogan had to convince him to stop. So, this whole, nobody wants it with me, Bappa B, I'm the great. No, you're not. But I just like the fact that he keeps going after BGL and stuff. I don't know, but let me know your thoughts in the comments.